Then you hear about your insecurities and your pitfalls and all the things that went wrong with you, and you realize, well, God damn it, those are the same things that go wrong with me. Like, maybe I have that inside of me, and I've just never summoned it.
Right. And I'll tell you this, I started really realizing that when I started overcoming myself, I started getting around these real alpha males, these hard men. And I always put people way above me when I was growing up. Like, my God, they had to have a lot more than me to get to where they're at. And a lot of them did. But once you get around the best of the best of the best people, you can kind of start breaking them down and realizing, man, you're just as fucked up as me. Like we all have, but all you did was you hit it better.
Opportunity to be and work in the zone that I feel comfortable. But if that happen, I know the way to don't shake too much the body.
Cristiano age 40 versus age 25. Did you know that sleep was that important when you were younger? So you've always been...
When you are younger, you think you're gonna live forever, you're gonna have power forever, you think you are unbreakable. But by the age, and I have a great example in the football, because the demands physically and body, it's a lot.
Yeah, and I've had conversations with many people about the possibility of not having that and just being able to enjoy it and relieve the pressure on yourself. And, you know, there's all these studies that come out, talk about motivation and drive, saying that you can get more from coming from like a secure place rather than beating yourself up. And it's like, it depends on what your version of success is. Like, can these people live a life to be more happy and fulfilled? Yes. But will they be Michael Jordan and have 6 championships?
Dude,
probably not, you know?
I love this topic. I love it so much. And I think the bottom line is that if you're talking about beating everybody else on the planet to a thing, what you're actually talking about is what are you prepared to sacrifice psychologically?
Doctor on your wrist.
Yes, yeah. And for me, it's amazing because you can control a little bit better. But sometimes it's funny because the people that surround me all the time and physios and our physiology, they say, I know, I don't need sometimes to look the up to know how I feel.
Yeah.
Because it's many years of experience, many years of playing high level.
Can we just break for a second?
Sure, of course. Yeah.
Well, I mean, Tesla really faced a severe threat of death due to the Model 3 production ramp. Essentially, the company was bleeding money like crazy, and just if we didn't solve these problems in a very short period of time, we would die. And it was extremely difficult to solve them.
How close to death did you come?
Within single-digit weeks.
22 hours a day, or like what? How many hours?
So 7 days.
And I would imagine for so many people out there, that is probably the most difficult thing.
Yeah, I think that's a great answer, because I think people look at you and they assume that you never have to make that choice, right? They see someone in your position, someone who's achieved what you've achieved, and the assumption can be, oh yeah, but he's the greatest. He was just always that way, and he doesn't have to make that choice every day. But as you said, since the beginning of your life, whether it's childhood, whether it's breaking into a sport that wasn't set up for you, there have been so many moments. Let's go back to school. Let's talk about some of that more in depth, because I feel like a lot of people struggle at school, but you kind of went through a lot of altercations and adversities at that time. What were some of the things you were hearing, some of the bullying, some of the racism, the experiences that you had that felt limiting or made it feel like it was easier to give up?
I think for me, school was probably the most traumatizing and most difficult part of my life.
Wow. Lots of you. But we don't really understand the depth and the texture of Lewis Hamilton. And so I guess I want to start in a different place, and we'll kind of go through on this journey. I wanted to ask you, what do you feel is the hardest thing you've had to do in order to be who you are today?
I think continuing to have the belief in myself and not letting that veer off since I was young, since I've been told from my teachers that I would never amount to nothing. The bullying or the things that you face, the adversity you face, the discrimination, and just continuing to keep your head up, continuing to march on ahead towards your dream and never losing sight now. I think that's definitely for sure the most difficult thing, is keeping your goal and your eyes set on that and not being distracted, not giving up. I think the easiest thing in life is to give up. on whatever you're focused on or whatever you're hopeful for. The hardest thing is to keep going, but we have to. Like, we have to continue to hold on. I mean, for me, in my school, there was only around, I think there was around 7, maybe 6, 7 black kids out of 1,200 kids. And 3 of us were put outside the headmaster's office all the time. The headmaster just had it out for us, and particularly for me, I would say. So like, just juggling all these different emotions that you're feeling. Plus I struggled at school. I didn't find out till I was 16 that I was dyslexic. Fortunately, I came across a teacher that was actually caring and took me down that road and helped me discover a little bit more about myself and how I can better myself through education. But I think that for me was tough. Also, because I was racing every weekend, I would leave on the Thursday night. We would travel, pack up the motorhome, we would travel around the country to race on the weekends. And no one else knew. When I'd get back to school, all the kids have done normal things on the weekend. And I'll come back and say I was racing, and people would be like, "Oh, I've done that before," like at the theme park or something. But no one really knew what my goal was, and they thought maybe it was a joke. You missed a lot of that social interaction also. I was put in all the lowest sets at school and told that if you do well, you can progress, and they never ever let me progress, no matter how hard I tried. And then the constant jabs, the things that are either thrown at you like bananas, or people that would use the M word just so relaxed. People calling you half-caste, and just really not knowing where you fit in. That for me was difficult. When you then go into like history class, and everything you learn in history, there are no people of color in the history that they were teaching us. So I was thinking, oh well, where are the people that look like me?
And I adjust year by year the demand of the body. To answer your question, when you have 25 is not the same when you have 30s, especially in football or eye sports. But I'm still feeling good, and I prioritize recovery and the sleeping.
What have you noticed from using Whoop to improve your recovery?
As I told you, not just because we are a partner of this great company and great tool, in my opinion. It's like a doctor you have in your